All right, here we go. Betting Weekly Live here with you on a Tuesday. Mike Carver here with you, along with Doug Kezirian, as we get ready for all the action tonight. More baseball if you want it. 18 wasn't enough last night. Game 4 of the World Series we have coming up later this evening. We have a couple college football games. The Frozen Frenzy. Every NHL team playing tonight. All the staggered starts, all the way from 6 East to 11 East. So plenty of hockey. We've got NBA, of course, as NBC's got the Knicks and the Bucks tonight. A lot to do. But first, Doug, how could we not start today without at least first tipping the hat for last night? Tremendous job. Doug was 6-0 on the NBA, 1-0 on the World Series. The best bets were 4-0 combined. Tremendous night, Doug, all the way around for us here. And the Daily Double was a winner for us last night as well, right out of the gates.
All downhill from here, Carver. You win your first ever Daily Double. Nice payout. Rocking chair win. It's just going to be electric chair sweats the rest of the time. That's how it goes. 6-0 in the NBA. I got to pull a George Costanza storm out of here and saying, that's it. I'm out. And just retire off into the sunset. And it's NBA. Beating some of the sides is like one of the hardest things to do ever. And to go 6-0. I know we had some props and some first quarters, but still, man, really liked those. That was the other thing, is I really liked and loaded up on that on my end. Anyways, you're right. The World Series was fantastic. I'm a Dodger fan, so obviously it ended the right way. But I honestly think it's one of the best baseball games I've ever seen, if not the best, because it was back and forth, right? 1-0, 2-0, then 2-3 the other way. Ohtani ties it. You have excellent defensive plays with about 6 throws on the money with the right tag as well. So that was a great. It was so well played, a master class in that regard. And really, you saw uh, no name step up. Will Klein, everyone talking about that, but the entire Dodger bullpen and the entire Blue Jays bullpen. And then Kershaw comes in on a 3-2 pitch, gets a dribbler that would have been ball 4, and the beautiful play with the scoop. And that scooping with the glove is a very tricky thing. The big leaguers make it look easy. So just across the board, a fantastic outing.
It sure was. And it's amazing, Doug. They got to come back and do it again tonight, which is where we're going to start here with game number 4 of the World Series. And I think there's a lot of things that we now have to factor in, right? I mean, this was only the second 18-inning game ever. The Dodgers played one against the Red Sox back in 18. And I wanted to go and look, Doug. That's the first thing I did this morning. What happened the next day when they played an 18-inning game back then? And, of course, that was the only game the Dodgers won in that series, was that 18-inning game against the Red Sox. The Red Sox came and beat them the next day. And once again, a lot of guys got beat up in the bullpen because it was such a long night. Is that kind of what we should be expecting here tonight, Doug? I mean, I'm telling you now, I'm going to be talking about this over in a little bit. You know, we've got a lot of tired arms, and the guys that didn't pitch a lot who you might rely on tonight are the guys that maybe they don't have as much faith in, whether it's a Kershaw, whether it's a Bassett. I mean, you might get those guys out for a little bit longer than you would in a spot like tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to just take one example and think it's going to carry over. It's painful because Puig went yard in that game to give him a 3-run shot, give him a 4-0 lead, and then the Red Sox answered in the 7th, and then of course Steve Pearce, World Series MVP, ties it in the 8th, and then such a painful game. The Dodgers really had that game won, so it should have been 2-2. I went to, I think, game 2 in Boston that year. So I was in Connecticut, went to Boston, and Ryu pitched well. So I don't know. I do think the bullpen could be tired, but it's not that crazy for the bullpen to be pitching on back-to-back days, right? So let's not overreact to that.
Right.
I'm torn here. Ohtani, I know he didn't play the field, but he had a pretty emotionally draining game last night.
Yeah.
On base a lot. I would imagine he's pretty drained, but he's also superhuman. So that's part of the unknown. And look, yesterday I talked about how I had no clue on the side. I don't think I should pretend to have a clue on tonight's side either.
Yeah, Dodgers minus 210 this evening, Doug, at Bet Rivers. Blue Jays plus 175, trying to even the series at 2. It's a flat 8. And I was going to bring Ohtani up with you next because, yes, he didn't pitch. He didn't run around in the field. He didn't really, though, in the last 9 innings of that game at bat either, right, Doug? I mean, he just went up there, they put the 4 up, and they sent him down to first base. Did a little cardio running from first to second a couple of times. But should that be a factor for him this evening? But even beyond that, let's talk about the bigger factor for Ohtani tonight. And that is John Schneider has pretty much thrown it down that he's not letting Ohtani beat him anymore as he walked him again and again and again after that home run. Is that going to be more of the same tonight? Like, is he going to top, bottom of the first inning tonight? Boom, just put him on. Start the game with a walk.
It's going to be that. I really do because he's Schneider. I listened to the whole press conference last night and basically said, "Look, like we had a mound meeting, and then of course the next pitch was right down the middle, and I laughed so hard to see he just piped it. But after he's hit 2 home runs, then you go to the walk. So you kind of pitch around him, and if the pitchers are unable to do that, then you put them on. You put up the whole 4 fingers thing. I think you have a little bit of betting value here, whether it's Mookie Betts because he's going to have to see better pitches, right? Or even Freeman, with that being the case. Or you could even try to get greedy, Ohtani plus 245 to get a stolen base. I mean, if the guy's going to be on base, now 275. If the guy's going to be on base guaranteed 3 or 4 times, now could be a guy on second, and then it's conventional walk, like, yeah, absolutely put him on, right? Let's make the force out. But I do think it's interesting that in the 13th or 14th inning, the Dodgers had a runner on third, Alex Call with 1 out, and they ended up walking. Uh, Eventually, they basically had the decision: do we face Mookie Betts with 1 out, or Freeman? Sorry, with 2 outs because they got a pop up. So do we face Freeman with 2 out? So they basically chose to pitch to Freeman in the 13th instead of Betts. Well, I think that solidified it. So now I think Betts is going to get pitched to the whole time. I don't think they want Freeman. I don't think they want Ohtani. Definitely Ohtani. So Ohtani over 1.5 bases, and we should alert everyone that walks do not count as total bases.
Nope.
Um, so maybe if some unders pop up later, we could do that. But I think Mookie might be a good bet. Obviously, a double wins it right away. But if he's going to be getting pitches to hit with a runner on first every time, I think that's worth considering. So I think Mookie, there's a domino effect to this. Bieber's got those reverse splits I mentioned, so he's going to be really good against righties. So maybe Freeman's the guy.
Yeah, Freeman's probably the guy to go
Sorry.
with,
He's
Greg.
really good against lefties because
Good
he's
against
right-handed.
lefties.
Sorry, reverse
So
split. So Mookie's probably the bet.
Mookie would probably be the guy that you want to go with tonight, especially with that spot there. They do have you at Bet Rivers tonight. Ohtani encore. Shohei Ohtani to throw at least 7 strikeouts and to record at least 1 hit in Game 4 of Dodgers Blue Jays, boosted from plus 175 to plus 220 this evening there. Tough to go with if you don't think they're going to pitch to him, that he's going to get a hit. The 7 strikeouts may be there, but going after the hit. Now, any other things for you here? We kind of talked about this before the show, and you're going to bring it up there. He's going to be on first a lot tonight, Doug. Going to be on first. Maybe some stolen bases for him this evening.
I mean, look, you have to think outside the box, right? This is the fun part about betting, I think. You take news storylines, right? Like stuff that's actually kind of grabbing headlines, whether it's a war of words between coaches or anything. Um, a guy who played late last night now has to pitch today. There's always something interesting with the betting domino effect. So, that's a great question. If Otani's pitching, is he going to be less likely to steal? I would imagine he's less likely to go head first for sure. And he was tagged. Some of these guys were tagged off because they weren't sliding head first. So that's a great point. Like if Otani's pitching, is he going to be not going to want to risk anything running the base paths?
Right. That's another thing that you have to factor in tonight because remember they might be looking for a little bit more out of him. He's one of the only guy out who didn't pitch for them last night. I mean, they even had Yamamoto out there warming up in the 18th inning when that thing ended last night. So he's going to be the freshest arm that the Dodgers have this evening, and they need him to be able to get some outs for them. That's for sure. I'm going back to the over tonight, Doug, just because. Look, I feel like there's going to be a point where both of these bullpens are going to be involved, and they put a lot of work in last night. I think that the Dodgers are going to be able to get a little something off of Bieber. Maybe there is a little bit of fatigue with Ohtani after last night. The Blue Jays have a few guys that have hit him well. Unfortunately, Springer got hurt last night in that game because Springer had some pretty good numbers off of him also. I'm not sure if he's going to be in there tonight. So I'm going to go with the over again tonight, Doug. I like it at a flat 8.
So, counterpoint, right? So
Yep.
early in the game, they didn't know there'd be a million innings. So Trinan went one third of an inning. Dreyer went one third. Sasaki did get 5 outs, so that's something to consider. Kershaw only 1 out, so I would imagine he's fine. It is crazy that Dodgers had 2 arms off the World Series roster. That with one with a family issue, things like that. So Will Klein, let's hope he doesn't have to go out there. The guy had like an ERA of 5 this year in minor league ball. So yeah, you might be onto something here. I wouldn't bet under. I see your logic for sure.
Those guys that only threw the third of an inning or 2/3 of an inning, those are probably the guys, Doug, I trust the least. Like Trinan hasn't been great. I want Trinan out there.
Right.
I want Kershaw out there. I want those guys in the game. And if they're the freshest arms that Roberts has to go to tonight, well, let's go. Let's get them in the game, and maybe we can make a little bit of a mess out of it as we move forward. As far as the series goes now, with the Dodgers up 2-1 as we head to the game 4 tonight. In it, you have right now minus, there it is for you at Bet Rivers. Let me bring it right up real fast. I lost it for a second. Minus 560, plus 400 for the Jays if you think they can win 3 of the next 4.
It's going to be tough. I feel like the Blue Jays were pretty dejected. At least John Schneider was in the post game. Dodgers have just a lot of ways to beat you, honestly. When you factor in the 3 MVPs at the top of the lineup, then you get playoff Kike, who's like an MVP quality player in the playoffs. Will Smith's fantastic, and Dave Roberts is pushing the right buttons, right? It's still baseball. The Springer injury does factor. They haven't decided if he's going to be in the starting lineup or not. So he's got the tweaked, I want to say hammy, but I mean that's a big bat. They could lose out of the lineup, and they pitched around Vladdy a little bit. The Dodgers are the better team, but you're never going to get Rich Lane 560. You can maybe do an alternate series price, things like that, but that's concerning.
Well, and it doesn't help either. Schneider got caught with a couple things last night, Doug, to be fair. If you knew you weren't going to if Bichette was going to make it through the whole game. Now, look, you didn't know there was going to be 18 innings when you start. You got Bichette right behind Vlad. You're eventually going to take him out to run. He couldn't even get past first base on that ball he hit down the line. You took Barger out. Barger's one of their better hitters. Again, you don't know you're going to go that long, but, he lost a few of his bats. He's got guys like IKF and Schneider can't run. He got thrown out at home on the one play, Schneider, trying to go around. So tough night for a few spots for Schneider there, that's for sure. MLB World Series home run 50% bet match. 2 eligible players at Bet Rivers opt in and place a pre-match wager on any player to hit a home run to receive a 50% matched bonus bet to use on the game live. See the Bet Rivers app and website for full details. 50% home run bet match for tonight's game. And don't forget, immediately following game 4 of the World Series tonight, head over to the Toronto Sports Rush channel, part of the Bet Rivers Network, live post-game reaction. Dan O'Toole, Kyle Andrew, and CJ Newkowski, who, yes, Doug, were on at 3 a.m. East last night after the game. I saw that this morning when the replay came up. I said, the guys, they held in. It was tough with Toronto losing, but 3 a.m., those guys did get it going after the game last night. So nice job by them.
I've done all those late night crazy stuff. Like they're not pouring concrete here. Let's easy.
Of course not.
But I do have a question. I just thought, like, Will Smith, do we fade him? I mean, look, he caught all 18 innings last night.
I wouldn't have a problem with that either. That's not a bad way to go. If you want to go unders for a couple of things with Will Smith this evening,
He's a young guy, right? These guys should be fine.
Young guy, but 18 innings in 6 hours going down and catching. That's, I don't care how young you are. That's tiring in a spot like that. That is not easy. Petey, do they intentionally walk players in Japan? Otani looked peeved. I could see it being, look, the guy wants to hit. We know that he's their best player. He's the best player in baseball. He's everything. It's tough watching him 2, 3, 4 times getting intentionally walked. Of course he's going to be upset, Doug. I don't blame Otani for looking the way that he did. He wants to swing the bat.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is etiquette. I get it. It's a prouder country and stuff, but you're not trying to win over the Japanese viewing public. You're trying to win a baseball game, and
Oh.
it's part of the game. It's part of the game. Heck, the shift is part. I think we should do a deep dive in like the early 2000s. Like some of these guys who hit 350 would probably hit 320. And nowadays, I feel like even though the comebacker to Will Klein, like there was a defender right behind him. It was like everybody's positioned so well with the shifts now. There's so much data. I swear, a batter hitting 330, 350 now is probably a 400 hitter. It's absurd.
It really is. And now everyone wants to change it too, Doug. I saw all that today. Let's change the rules for intentional walks. Only one per game, or only the second time put them on. We need to, all because of last night, we're going to change rule that's been there again for a
Why?
very, very long time. I
Why?
agree.
Yeah.
I don't want to change
Okay,
it.
so we're gonna make someone throw 4 in the dirt.
Like even
I
like
mean,
just, yeah, it's
literally, you
too
can
much.
just bounce the ball, right? You can bounce the ball to the
Yeah.
guy and be like, "Oh, it's not an intentional walk."
Good point here. Do you like the Nerfy? Now, you liked the Nerfy last night. This could be, all together. You're coming down after that long night last night. Maybe a slow start, Nerfy.
I like it, but the problem is Otani's gonna start the bottom of the first on first. So and now, granted, yesterday he started on second after the leadoff double, and the Dodgers were able to escape.
Yeah.
But the reason they were able to escape is part of my handicap is a guy like Max Scherzer was throwing a couple extra miles per hour and just wouldn't give in at all. He'd rather give up 4 runs than 1, I swear. So I'm going to pass on the Nerfy. I think the question now is, and it's a great question, is do you now do Yerfy because of knowing Otani's going to be on first?
Mm. Yeah, that's another way that you can kind of approach this thing tonight for it. So nice job there. The chat box is off and running here. Game 4 of the World
Yeah. Well done.
tonight here on Betting Weekly Live. All right, NBA. Great night for NBA last night for Doug. We're going to run it back here this evening. We've got 5 games tonight, including the 2 TV games. Now, the TV games for these NBC Tuesday nights, Doug, I had to go and make sure I got it all right today. So if you're on the East Coast at 8 o'clock East, you get Knicks and Bucks, and then you would get the late game on Peacock, which, of course, is the Warriors and Clippers. If you're on the West Coast, you get the Knick Buck game on Peacock and your NBC affiliate for the late night game. So I always got to have the TV in order, Doug, for what's going
And that's
on.
because of the primetime TV shows.
Yes, correct. So they want to have it 8 o'clock East on each coast to be able to start their game and have that television audience. So that's why you have it. So we'll start with the Knicks and the Bucks in Milwaukee tonight, just after 8 o'clock East. Knicks the road favorite now. Bet Rivers -2.5, 228.5 is the total there. I see it now, Doug, actually up to 229 at Bet Rivers just in the last couple minutes.
This number feels right. I got nothing on this game in terms of the side or total. Look, the Knicks are playing better in a lot of ways. It's like they're figuring themselves out, right? And the Bucks came out like gangbusters because they had a big offseason. They started strong, albeit against the Wizards, but they were up like a million after the first game. So I feel like this is going to be a good litmus test for each team. Knicks lost in Miami, so they got some work to do in that regard. And now they play the Bucks, who we think we know what the Bucks are. Got lost in Cleveland, but then won their other games. So I think this game's going to come down to the wire. Giannis is an absolute beast. For me, I'm playing a prop, and this is a guy who I really like, and he's been on fire in terms of shooting threes and making them. And it's AJ Green, and the juice has moved each game, but over 2.5 or 3+ made threes is -107. He's attempting like between 7 and 9 a game. He's your quintessential white shooter, but he plays better defense than people realize. And Doc Rivers has been very adamant about having 2 shooters around Giannis in their game. So they have Gary Trent Jr., who's a good sharpshooter. Anybody who watched the playoffs last year knows that. And so Trent is fighting some sort of like bug. He's a little under the weather, but he's probable to play. And then what happened is their point guard, Porter Jr., is out, and they didn't just have like Green be point guards. Like, oh no, we bring in a guy named Rollins, and he runs the point, so we have two sharpshooters still available. So these moving parts of the lineup have not affected Green. So I do like over 2.5. He's going to get his looks. Knicks defense is fine. But, look, you said the over under is going up. I think Green will have 3 or 4.
I'm gonna keep it simple in this game tonight, Doug. Giannis has had 12 plus boards in every game so far this year. Knicks don't, their big guys aren't great on the glass. Cat ain't gonna get you a lot of boards, etc. I know it's a little juicier, minus 136, but I'm gonna go over the 11.5 with Giannis. I'm gonna keep it simple.
What were his splits? I mean, with Cat on the perimeter, what are his splits? Does he have to guard him out there or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to go out there a little bit with him, but at the end of the day, the Knicks just don't have a lot of guys, who are going to be hammering the glass that much. I mean, Hart's not playing as much with, even with him when he goes back in there. It's for me, it's Giannis historically with the Knicks the last couple of years, Doug. He eats the glass against this team, so that's why I got
11.3 rebounds last year in 3 meetings with the Knicks. Now that can mean a lot of different things, but
right.
just throwing it out there.
Right on the right there. It's a good number,
Right
11
there.
and a half. It's right on that number. It's right where it's supposed to be. That's where I'm going to live tonight with that game. Clippers at the Warriors. So this will be just after 11 East, 8 on the West Coast tonight. -2 for the Clips on the road, 225 flat for the total.
There will be times to fade the Warriors. I don't think tonight is. They did get blown out by Portland when it was their last back-to-back. That was after beating Denver at home in overtime, and they go to Portland and they get boat raced, and Curry had showed up, but others didn't. This could be one of those games, but it's at home, and that's the difference for me. So I'm going to take I don't believe in the Clippers that much. I'm probably going to lose money all year on the Clippers because I hate James Harden and I hate some of these other guys. But for the most part, this is a team I want to fade. The Warriors are damn good. I don't know how else to explain it to people. They're loaded, and as long as they stay healthy, they can flip the switch and have a 40-point quarter whenever they want, mostly a 35-point quarter. But if Kuminga's gonna play this great, and he's been almost flawless, um, I don't know where their weaknesses are, right? Podziemski's not great, but he plays within himself, which I really like. Draymond's still a savant defensively. He's obviously can't shoot that well. The bench leaves a lot to be desired, but Buddy Hield can go off. Moody's been okay. I know it's back to back, but that's at home, so that's why give me the Warriors. I think they should be like -1.
Yeah, that's kind of what was it puzzled me a little bit, Doug, and I was going to ask you that. I'm kind of looking at it. Everyone's playing for the Warriors, even though it's a back-to-back. There's a good injury report. Everybody's going to be out there. So I was kind of scratching my head a little bit as to the Clippers being the 2.5 point favorite here this season, because the Warriors, as you said, have played really well out to this 3-1 start.
Going back to last year, we knew this team was good once they, um, you know, added Jimmy Butler. It was
Yeah.
27 and 8 to end the regular season and postseason, and they've been really solid out of the gate. So with Butler, Curry, and Draymond Green all in the lineup, they're about 30 and 9, if I remember correctly.
3 other games tonight outside of those national TV windows that we're going to have. The Hornets 2-1 to start the season in Miami against the Heat. Heat -5.5. Big total here tonight. That is wild. 241.5 at Bet Rivers. Let's go.
And the Hornets are that team, right? So the last couple years, it's been the Pacers. The Hornets are that team. The concern here, and this is why I lean Miami, is Brandon Miller. He was so good to start the year. He's been awesome, and now he's out. And that is a bummer. He's going to be out for maybe a little bit. I don't know, but he's
Oh,
not
yeah.
playing in this game now. That means more LaMelo, but I think Sexton will get some looks, which is fine. But I hate Miles Bridges. He's a black hole and shoots too many threes. I just can't get involved that they're going to be. I need to see more of the Hornets without Miller because they're better than they were last year without Miller. But I think it's Heat or pass for me. Heat have some weapons here. Heat are pretty good. I don't know how deep they're going to go this year, but with Norm Powell, I like Davion Mitchell. He's like the ultimate Heat player, but Khalil Ware's playing nicely alongside Adebayo. There's a lot to like with this team. So even without Hero back, so I'm okay with the Heat, get taking care of business. It's just a lot of like Jaime Jaquez off the bench and stuff like that, which I'm not. But we need Jovic to perform to cover this 5.5.
Yeah, no question about it. Miller's always hurt. I mean, Ball's always hurt
Uh,
too. Miller's always hurt also. It's unfortunate for the Hornets.
fair.
They can never keep all these guys on the court at the same time. Kings are in OKC tonight against the Thunder. Thunder minus 9.5, 226.5. Of course, Thunder just picking up where they left off, Doug. 4-0 already to start the year.
Yeah, but this is a tricky game. So this number's moved from 10.5 to 9.5 with Chet Holmgren's injury.
Yep.
He's out. And we already know J Dubs is out. So their all-star there is out. So it's going to be a lot of SGA tonight. And it's honestly a time to fade them. But the problem is they're playing the Sacramento Kings, who are an absolute joke. Got a roster full of guys that are just more name than anything, right? Like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook. These guys are the all-name team and just never kind of deliver. But at some point, these guys at the Warriors, I mean, they're going to have to get the ball at SGA's hand, I would imagine, Sacramento's defense. So it's a lot of Cason Wallace, a lot of Caruso, a lot of AJ Mitchell, a lot of Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort. So I'm on the under. It's come down a couple points. I still liked it. I liked it at 28.5, 26.5, still a play for me. I just wish they were playing a different team because I think the Kings stink. But I do think the Kings have been embarrassed and they need to show up. So like Schroeder's another guy, more bark than bite. None of these guys you want with the game on the line. Now they're going to play well some games and win, but this is a team that just lost to the Lakers without Luka and LeBron. I know OKC shorthanded. I think the Thunder just win this game defensively. And so it's either like the Kings play great and just kind of take out their aggression and OKC mails it in, or the Thunder win this game like 110, 104 or something like that. So I like the under a lot.
Under tonight with OKC and the Kings. The other games, the Sixers and the Wizards. Sixers are actually 3-0 now this year. They haven't played too bad. They've been in some high-scoring games. Wizards have been in a couple of high-scoring games, maybe over 239.5 tonight.
Yeah, we could see some serious points. The It's interesting, like depending if it's Embiid or not, but the Sixers kind of have two versions of them, right? Like when Maxey leads the charge and they just go up and down, and VJ Edgecomb's been fantastic and kind of going to duke it out with Cooper Flag for Rookie of the Year. I mean, the problem is the front line is just leaves a lot to be desired. Adem Bona, Jabari Walker. It's like pretty nasty, but the Wizards are not no picnic either. They're pretty young, but they'll put up some points. This could be a high scoring game, but that's why the total's 239.5. So I'm not getting involved, but it would be over or pass.
Up and away in that one this evening with the Wiz and the Sixers. So there you go, a little lighter 5-game NBA for you here on a Tuesday night on Betting Weekly Live. Not the case, Doug, with the Pucks. The Pucks is a full go. It is Frozen Frenzy night, Doug, in the NHL. Once again, a great idea by Gary Bettman, but the placement, a random Tuesday at the end of October when there's still a ton of things going on, does make you scratch your head. But for a hockey fan, you get games from 6 o'clock East to 11 o'clock East, staggered starts. They'll have like their own red zone tonight, going back and forth to all the games. So it's a really fun night if you are a fan of the NHL. Everybody's in action for this evening. I'm going to start, Doug, with this Penguin Flyer game, which is the first one. Starts in about 25 minutes from now to kick the night off. Penguins are in Philly. Flyers minus 167, which is a little bit of a head scratcher, too, when you consider that the Penguins have gotten off to a pretty good start so far this year with 7-2-1. But for me, Doug, it's over. Flat 6 right now, minus 114 to the over. 3 of their 4 games last year, they scored 7+ goals between them. Penguins have played a ton of pond hockey games already. Well, I know it's a second night also of a back-to-back for the Penguins. They played a 9-goal game with the Blues last night. I think you go back to the over with the Penguins and the Flyers here.
Okay, I can see your rationale. I like just absorbing how you break down some of these games. Um, you've been seeing the puck really well here. Keep it up.
Been seeing the puck pretty well. The other game, now these games are like the full games on ESPN. It's a triple header on ESPN tonight. And they'll also have the channel where they're going to be whipping around to all the games. So they got a lot of different stuff that they're doing, putting the focus on hockey this evening. The Caps and the Stars in Dallas, which is that's a 9 o'clock East face-off, 8:30, excuse me, Doug, right there. Stars have gone under in 5 straight. You got 2 of the better teams so far. I do kind of like that Stars. You usually don't get the Stars at home at that short a price, 127, but it's under for me, Doug. Under the 6 with the Caps and the Stars tonight.
Why is that?
Low scoring. Stars have been playing low scoring. The Caps have been playing some strong hockey as well. We've got 2 good teams in a matchup tonight. I think that we get ourselves a little bit of a lower scoring game. A little 3-2, 2-1, right in that mix. 2 good teams tonight.
Okay. All right. I like it.
And I'll throw you a couple others because, again, there's 16 games throughout the NHL this evening. My favorite one is probably in Boston. Islanders and the Bruins. Bruins didn't get it done. They got smashed in Ottawa last night. So second night of a back-to-back for them. We've got the Islanders playing, who, as we talked about last week, it's up, and away every game. 8 of their 9 games have gone over the number, the Islanders, so far this year. So let's roll, baby. Over. This is now up to 6.5. Flat 6 earlier, now a 6.5, and for good reason. I can't believe the Islanders are that big a favorite in Boston, but the Bruins have been pretty awful recently. Just the over here for me, Doug. Probably one of the ones I like the most tonight.
What's been you've seen, so with, like you said, all but one game gone over for the Islanders. What have you seen in the market in terms of the games, how they're lined in the total?
Yeah, they've been pretty much starting to shade to 6.5 the last couple. You're starting to see it move a little bit. Again, this morning, flat 6 at Bet Rivers. We've gone up now as we've gotten a little bit closer to face off here with 6.5, and probably for that reason. I think that catch these like we talk about sometimes early in the day. If you got a team that's playing a ton of overs and you see the 6 early in the morning, maybe try to grab the 6 early in the day. Because the 6.5, you still need 7 to win the bet, Doug. But as you know, push is better than a loss sometimes when you have that flat 6
For sure.
to 6.5.
You'd rather have 18 in blackjack than 17 because you always got it's just one of those things.
That indeed. What else do we got for you? Colorado and New Jersey, good game tonight as well. They just played on Sunday. Jersey beat them at the Rock. Now they go out to Colorado to start a road trip. Colorado's coming back from a long road trip, and they have cooled off. They've lost 4 in a row, Doug. And the Devils have won 8 in a row, but the Devils are dogs tonight. Let's take the Devils, Doug. We got this team coming back off a long road trip. Basically playing a home and home here with these two. Love the way the Devils are playing right now. I think it's just too good of a number to pass up on the Devils. It's kind of like we were saying before. You never get the Devils at plus 133. I think they're too good. You go and jump on them with that number tonight.
Fair enough.
So more price for me. And other than that, I'll be watching, seeing if there's anything else we can jump on in game. You do have a couple other things. Utah's won 7 in a row, and they're in Edmonton tonight against the Oilers, and they're plus money. The Rangers have been awful. They're in Vancouver. They've lost 6 out of 7. That's kind of a lowish total at 5.5, Rangers and Canucks. So you got as much hockey as you could possibly imagine, Doug, this evening for the Frozen.
It's insane.
Frozen Frenzy. And I love the staggered starts because you just, 8, 8:30, 8:45, 9, 9:30. They just keep rolling them at you. And I just wish, this is the thing, Doug, they should do, on a Saturday in February and make a big event out of it. That's they get away from when the football's not going on, when the World Series isn't going on, when other things aren't happening, and you try to maybe market this a little bit better. Because on a random Tuesday night at the end of October, I just don't think it has the same juice as it could have maybe at another point. But it's still a fun night.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Let's be better, Gary. All right, Gary Bettman over at the NHL offices.
Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a step in the right direction.
Gary's been building the house for a long time now, Doug. Gary's been at the helm for a very long time. He's lost some bricks and he's gained some bricks as he's been the commissioner of the National Hockey League. All right, there you go, pucks tonight. All right, NFL. It is Tuesday. We're going to give you a little go for 2 in a moment. But first, the extra point. Some overarching themes from week number 8. We're 8 weeks in, Doug. Give me a little thoughts now as we head ourselves into November this weekend.
It was an absolute bloodbath for the house, the sports books, right? We don't shed tears for them, but I believe favorites went 11-2 against the spread if you include the Chargers on Thursday and then obviously the Chiefs last night. That's not good for the house. Overs went on Sunday alone 8-2-1. So pretty bloody crime scene for the house. Now the question is, my thing is, the sharps take the ugliest teams. By my calculations, over the last season and a half, right? So the last year and this year, the Tennessee Titans are 4-21 against the spread. You don't get extra money by taking ugly teams, okay? I feel like everyone's trying to make the hero pick or the hero bet, taking these ugly dogs like Carolina +7 at home against the Bills. Bills come in and just open up a can on them, right? And beat them like they stole something. Now, you're right. There's Atlanta, doesn't cover, gets blown out. Miami was a sharp dog price, things like that. So there are situations like that. But just remember, like, the teams that are favored and big favorites, they have a lot of wins for a reason. These ugly dogs, the year the Browns went 0-16, I think the sharps were on them every week, and those sharp plays are about as sharp as a spoon. So just, respect the market, but you don't always have to tail these ugly teams. They don't give you extra money if you take ugly dogs. The price is the price. Now, I do think the tax is finally kicking in for the Titans this week as a double-digit
Eh,
underdog in a questionable situation, but I'm in no rush to bet Tennessee.
That's what I was actually. There you go. You were going to say that, and I was going to give you that as the example. I have already seen some people over the last 24 to 36 hours as we start to look towards week 9 and get all like, oh, the Chargers laying 10 against the Titans. This is the spot for Tennessee. They've been completely throttled every week except one, where they won that game in Arizona that basically Arizona handed to them
They
that week.
shouldn't have
They
won. That's the
shouldn't have.
funny thing.
Arizona handed them the game, and they shouldn't have won it. But other than that, they've been throttled every week. But no, Doug, this is the week because this number says that the Titans are going to hang around with it. I think that's a prime example of what you're talking about. Is that Titan Charger game coming up in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the year, that line would have been like, I don't know, 6.5, right?
Right.
It's 10. I'm not in a rush to bet the Chargers either, but I
I know.
I do think there's an element of like finally the books have had enough with it.
Right. All right. Go for two here, as we always like to take a look at a couple of spots for the upcoming NFL week. Week 9 is upon us, which will get started on Thursday night with the Ravens and the Dolphins in Miami. And of course, the presumed return of Lamar Jackson. All right. Give me a go for two here, Doug, for you on NFL this week.
On the Colts -3 at the Steelers. I know this would not have been the line at the beginning of the season. I don't care. We know more about each of these teams. The Steelers defense is awful, truly awful, and I don't get it. Maybe TJ Watts lost a step and he can't get to the quarterback as easily, and the secondary is not the same. This Indy offense can cook. I'm going to put this over under punts by the Colts at 1.5, and I would bet the under.
Mm,
So I think the Colts score at will. Their defense isn't great, but Pittsburgh's not great either. I think we see a lot of points. So Colts team total is really the play I like the most. But I think they take care of business here in Pittsburgh.
yeah, I'm with you. I've seen enough of the Steelers now over the past couple weeks, and foolish me. I mean, I backed them on Sunday night against Green Bay. I thought that we would get some action out of them, not so much as the Packers throttled them in that second half. We also have, let's go to the Monday night game next week, which is Arizona in Dallas against the Cowboys. Right now, Bet Rivers Cowboys -3. And again, 53.5. These Cowboy games every week, Doug.
And I did something dumb. I took a live bet under in their game against Denver in the first
Ooh.
half. I should have waited. So the second half went under, if I'm not mistaken. But look, these games have been flying over for the most part with the Cowboys. And get this, Carver, every single first half of a Dallas Cowboys game has gone over the total. So this week we
Everyone.
have 26.5. It's a little juicy, and it's the Cardinals, but the Cowboys defense and the Cowboys offense just plays that type of game. So we're 8 for 8 on the first half overs with the Cowboys. This Arizona offense leaves a lot to be desired, but it's really about the Cowboys D, and their offense is pretty strong. So Cowboys for me, points, points, points.
Points, 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 baby. For me, go for the two. Detroit. -9 against Minnesota. Detroit off a bye. I've seen enough of Minnesota the last couple of weeks too, Doug. I have zero faith in them. I think they stink. And now, no Wentz. I don't care if McCarthy's back. If McCarthy's not ready, they've got the third string guy who's coming out of witness protection. This is a bad spot for Minnesota on the road again. I don't care that they have extra rest. Detroit's coming off a bye. It doesn't matter. -9 for the Lions on Sunday, Doug. I love it. Smash City.
I'm right there with you. I think this Vikings team stinks. Um, I think the Lions open up a can at home on that turf. They're tough.
They are tough, no doubt. And I'm sure we're going to talk about this next game a lot, especially on Friday as we're heading into the weekend. But Bills and Chiefs, here we go again. This Sunday in Buffalo. Chiefs off the win last night against Washington. Ho-hum, 28-7 victory. -2, favorites on the road in the Below. Another big total, 52.5. And this, I was looking at this earlier. These two basically have going right on that. The playoff game got over with the 59 last year, but it's been 51, 51, 52, the 3 games before it. You know how this goes, Doug. Chiefs beat them every year in the playoffs. Bills beat them every year in the regular season. And I'm expecting exactly the same this week. Big performance probably from Allen. Maybe the Bills defense actually makes a play. I mean, if Mahomes is going to hand them turnovers like he did to Washington last night, I think that Buffalo will be able to convert. So probably a close game. Bills find a way at home and then lose to them in January.
I agree with you. That's the normal script. I'm just going to side with Kansas City here. I think this is the best Chiefs team we've seen, the best
Ooh.
version of them. The defense is top notch, and Mahomes is, the game is really slowing down for him. And then the running attack's getting there. Rashee Rice is back. Because when they had the explosive offense with Tyreek Hill, their defense was terrible. So to have this defense, and I think this is like honestly like the worst version of the Bills. Oliver's now out. Their defense is just not good. And Josh Allen's spectacular. Okay. We know that. So if he delivers and is just amazing, fine. But I'm going to roll with the Chiefs here under 3.
Roll with the Chiefs for it. So there you go. We'll do plenty of NFL as the week continues on here on Betting Weekly Live. We've got, like we said, Ravens and Dolphins on Thursday night to kick off this week. Make sure you get involved with the Betting Weekly newsletter if you like what you hear on our show, and of course you do. Sign up for the newsletter, get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Make sure you go and get involved. We also have tonight the college football. That's right, baby. We do have a Fun Belt game. Got another Conference USA game. Why don't we start with this Kennesaw game? Kennesaw State -11 now against UTEP. Total 51.5. Second year for Kennesaw in the top division, and they can become bowl eligible tonight, getting their 6th win. They can get it against UTEP.
I like Kennesaw State here. I agree with the line move. Overnight, it was 10, 10.5. It's up to 11. I just think this UTEP team is really shaky. They should have lost to Sam Houston State last week. The Sam Houston quarterback got hurt at the middle of the game. I can't remember if it was end of the first half or beginning of the second, and that changed everything. It was the end of the first half. Now that I remember, that changed everything. They couldn't do anything. I think Kennesaw State will have tons of big plays through the air passing attack. I think the Owls will light up the secondary. Big plays, a lot of points. I think they cover this fairly easily. You might have to sweat a back door, but I think that's the right side. Owls will cover. I like the Owls a lot. Almost my best bet.
I kind of lean to the under, and I'm going to tell you why. I think you're right. I think Kennesaw State's going to win tonight. I think they're going to be able to cover the 11. I think this goes one of two ways. And UTEP probably doesn't score. Like 38-3 Kennesaw State, 40, I somewhere in that kind of realm. Or there's like the off chance that UTEP drags them in the muck. And if that happens, it's not going to be a high scoring game. I think it's more like you're saying, Kennesaw just takes them out and completely smashes them. But I don't know if UTEP's going to score many points in that scenario, Doug. So I kind of like the under with the 51.5.
Their offense is nothing special.
No.
UTEP is not good.
No, they are not. The other game, James Madison into Texas State. Madison -7, road favorites here. A little bit of a bigger total, 55.5 in this one.
Yeah, I lean over here. I think
Me
James
too.
Madison can open up a can, and their defense has not been the same since the start of the year. So I think we see some points here.
I'm with you, actually. I was looking, Texas State, they can't stop anybody. They've been playing some of these games with both them and the opponents being in the 30s plus the past couple of weeks. I mean, you look at it right there. I mean, defensive points per game. They're scoring 36 and giving up 31, Texas State on a weekly basis. So James Madison's offense is good enough where that maybe can get him in the 40s tonight. And I'm sure that Texas State will chip in the 20s for us as well. So let's go up, and away with this, Doug.
Nice, nice, great minds think alike. Hopefully,
Great minds think alike. We do have plenty of games this week. Another big college football Saturday. We're going to go for two there as well, Doug. Give me something for Saturday in college football.
okay. So one a little bit higher profile game, one not so much. I like UAB in the points against UConn. This Husky team's been ripe to fade, and they just went to overtime with Rice, which they shouldn't have, and Rice won the game. UAB's off a bye. They fired Trent Dilfer midseason, and they now have the legendary NFL insider Chris Mortensen's son, who's beloved, and this team plays hard for him. He's a good coach. I think it's too many points. Give me the Blazers. They don't have the best defense, but UConn should give up points. I like UAB in the 11.5 in this game.
Mm.
Also, that Ohio State trend is still intact off the bye. Buckeyes have not allowed a touchdown in the first half all year. And so now they're going to face Penn State, right? And Jim Knowles is their DC and all the backstory there. I think the Buckeyes open up a can. I mean, you got a freshman quarterback for the Nittany Lions, and they scored against Iowa last week, and then they got a blocked field goal, I believe, returned for a touch. This Penn State offense is nothing to write home about. I think Ohio State pummels them. And I think the first half is a good number as well. It's probably going to be around 11 once it's posted. I think the Buckeyes are taking pride in that no touchdowns allowed first half. And this is sort of the time of year where these elite programs sort of reach that other gear. They want to finish strong. They know they're going to have the conference title game and things like that. I think we're going to see a pretty darn good version of Ohio State. And, this Penn State's team is obviously a wounded animal.
They certainly are. For me, going to the Big 12 again. You remember last week, Doug, in this spot, I was telling you how that Houston 7.5 at Arizona State just kind of jumped out at me like this doesn't feel right. Like this just doesn't not there. So I went to the Big 12 again in a similar spot. Cincinnati 7-1. They've played really well this year. And I know Utah thumped Colorado and they've been playing pretty good ball too, but 9.5 is a lot of gas for a game that I think is going to be pretty close. I know it's a tough trip. It's a late night game for Cincinnati. I don't think they win, Doug, but although I didn't think Houston would win, they end up winning outright. But I think Cincinnati is going to be able to give Utah all they can handle on Saturday night out there.
Well, there was a dog that got a lot of action last Saturday night against Utah,
Well,
and
Colorado.
I think Colorado had minus yards
They
of
got
total offense at halftime. It was one
this,
of the worst performances I've ever seen.
but
So let's hope Cincinnati shows up at least.
Colorado stinks. They're not
Right.
good. They're not a good team. Cincinnati and Satterfield's they've given you a little something here. 7-1. They've got a little wind in their sails. I don't think they're going to show up and get pasted by the Utes in this spot. The other one is the cocktail party. And I love the total already. 51. You got a couple things here. We said Georgia's D isn't as good. They give up more points this year. They're going to score plenty of points. Florida off fire and Napier. Maybe we see some different things from them offensively that allows them to score a bit. I'm going to go up, and away here. 51 with Georgia and Florida on Saturday afternoon.
I think that's the only way you can play it. Obviously, Gators, new coach, maybe Lagway. They simplify the playbook. We'll see, but that is a variable in that game in Jacksonville.
It certainly is. Lots of college football rest of the week. Tomorrow night, Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee. We're starting to, we know and love all these teams now. FIU and Missouri State as well tomorrow night. Plenty of Wednesday night, midweek action for us. Next week, Maction. Next week, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wonderful time of year.
The Maction will be for us. All right, Doug, let's get it going with the best bets. Of course, we hit the daily double last night. I'll start with you. I've got one tonight. You know what? I've been giving you two. I got to give you two. But the one I like the most that I'm going to put in the double is that over in the Islander Boston game. this evening. And the other one is I'm going back to the over, just like last night in the Dodgers and the Jays. I really believe we're going to get into some of these pitchers throwing again tonight. The Kershaws, the Bassetts are going to have to do a little bit more, and we're going to be able to get some hits off of those guys, some runs. So I'm going to go the over in the baseball game too.
And so I thought about Kennesaw. I'm just going to have one best bet, and it's going to be AJ Green. At least three
Nice.
made 3-pointers, minus 107. He is a sharpshooter. Excuse me. The Bucks are going to, let it fly. Nick's defense doesn't really change this Bucks offense, so I'm keeping an eye on Gary Trent's status. He's probable, so he should be fine. As long as you have two sharpshooters around Giannis and company, I'm A-okay with AJ Green. Derry Bird is his nickname. I like it.
AJ Green, up, and away, over the 2.5 threes. All right, so the daily double for Betting Weekly Live on a Tuesday night. Now, I'm going to remember you said you got that slider on Bet Rivers that you could use. That Islander Bruin total has moved up to 6.5 since we started. I'm bringing it back down to the 6, the flat 6 for the Islanders and the Bruins, that total tonight and being down, with the AJ Green 3+ 3-pointers made, plus 249 for the daily double tonight, Doug. Right around the same number as last night. Let's get it again, baby. 2 in a row.
Right. Hey, we can retire if we hit these every day, plus 250s. So let's roll.
Every day. Monday through Friday. Bang. Just keep rolling these plus 250s out for us. And then we'll have plenty of spending money on the weekend for college and NFL on Saturday and Sunday. We just got to keep building these during the week. Doug, tremendous job as always. Hopefully, let's say hopefully. For you, it's not as bad. Hopefully not at 18 innings tonight. For at least
I'd be okay with it. I'm a bachelor. I sleep weird hours. I'm here for sports history, but I certainly sympathize with those on the East Coast, but even those out here who have families and regular jobs to wake up for. I respect that.
I don't complain about it. I never do. I don't like when people win. Oh, these games start so late. Enough. Yeah, you watch the games or don't watch them. 18 innings till 3 a.m. That's a little bit of a different circumstance. It's hard to make it through that, especially when the little guy comes and smashes you in the head at 6:15 in the morning, Doug. It's hard when I have to go and do that. Doug, enjoy the evening. We got the baseball, lots of hockey, lots of hoops, couple college games. We will see you back here tomorrow. Definitely a game 5 in the World Series. And we'll, of course, get you ready for more football throughout the week. Big NBA slate, too. Mike Carver, Doug Kezirian, Betting Weekly Live, Betting Weekly Studios, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good night.